Hey James.
Hey, how's it going?
Good.
I'll be with you just a sec.
Oh, no worries.
Robert.
Yes, sir.
Wasn't sure who it was.
Hold on a second. Somebody's at my door. Just a sec. Oh, I'll be back.
Denise.
Hey, what happened to my background?
You're back in your living room, or I
Oh,
think it's your living room.
no, I mean my background I had.
I don't know. What happened to it?
Don't know.
What is going on?
Um, yeah, I've kept dreaming this week. I've had tons and tons.
You have. I've had zero, maybe one.
Yeah, I wasn't extremely dreamy this week at all. It was weird. I was sleeping like hard, but not having dreams. Or if I was, I was sleeping hard enough that I wouldn't remember them for some reason.
Hmm. Are
Yeah,
you
they would fade almost immediately though. Like I remember like having a dream, then waking up and I'm like, wait, I was just dreaming. And then I'm going back to try and remember. And then I start remembering I barely remember whatever dream I must have been having. And then I start to remember all the dreams I've had all week. And I'm like, no, those are like not the ones I just had.
Well, I have this tendency. Sometimes I'll be trying so hard to remember what I was dreaming that I think I just start making stuff up. Like I'm like, maybe I'm just making up a dream now because I
Yeah.
I I just sometimes I can't remember, but I want to remember bad enough that I'm like, maybe I didn't dream that. So I have to be honest with myself and just try to not make up something, only if I
Yeah.
actually remember it.
Literally, the notes I have for the 25th and 26th is dreams of dreams because I woke up like, what was I just dreaming? And then I start thinking of other dreams and I'm like, was I dreaming of other dreams? I don't remember now
how do you tell? How can you tell which, like
because I've been
you said,
writing it down. So if it's a dream I already wrote down, why am I coming up with it
I
again?
see. I see. I think I was curious more about like Robert, like he thinks he was making it up.
Oh,
I mean, aren't we always making it up in some way?
Yeah, I guess, but it's like as I'm starting to try to like bring back the memory of the dream, I I don't know, maybe I am sort of remembering, but it's like this feeling like it doesn't seem as familiar. So I kind of feel like maybe my brain is winging it and I'm making up a whole new thing that didn't actually, I didn't, because if I'm remembering a dream, it usually it seems very you know, like I'm very much remembering it. Like I'm like, oh yeah, I clearly already had this experience in my dream or whatever. Where if I'm like, if it just like I forgot it and I'm like, oh man, I know I wanted to remember it, but it's just like
like incorporating regular life stuff that you're thinking about or
something,
remembering. Yeah,
yeah, something's
I've
coming
done
up,
that.
and I'm like, no, I don't think that's what I was dreaming, but I don't know. It's like I can feel myself like possibly just making it up as I'm trying to remember it instead of actually remembering the dream. Where usually when I dream, because I think I've mentioned it at least to you, James, like my dreams, they can be like extremely like vivid and very like they seem super real. Like when I wake up, I mean it's like I was in a real other place or whatever. It just seems so like man, that was crazy. How real it was or whatever and how vivid it was, and I can remember usually like quite a bit of detail and a lot of the feeling like emotions and stuff that were going on, and it's intense. And then there's times when I wake up and I have that feeling like, oh man, that was some kind of weird dream or good dream, and I want to remember it, but it just, you know how it can be, it just fades like so quickly. It's like, what was it though? What was it? And I'm trying to grasp, and then I can tell, like I said, I can tell when I just started like making it up, and I'm like, no, that probably wasn't it. I should just give it up. It's just like I want to remember so bad that I think I want to start making something up instead of just forgetting, because that's disappointing. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. Like some people do dream like that. I mean, I do sometimes, but some people it seems like they dream like that all the time, like very vivid and like it's like a real actual other place or real
yeah, that's what I
life.
mean. It's like when I wake up, I'm like, I really felt like I was there. And sometimes I'll even like have somewhat, like if I was like doing a lot of like work or like hard, I don't know, like chasing something or running from something or something, I'll wake up and I'll actually like feel exhausted, and I'll feel like I was like transported into this other world in the dream. Although there are a lot of times during the dream, it seems completely reasonable and realistic, but when I wake up and I'm thinking about it, I'm like, how did I even accept that in the dream? Like the physics are all wrong. We're like able to do stuff that just doesn't happen in reality. But it doesn't seem weird when we're doing it in the dream. It seems perfectly reasonable to be like jumping up onto the top of a house or something, just from the driveway or whatever. And it doesn't seem weird at all. But it does seem very like real. Like I'm really in another place. I'm not just sort of, because I do have dreams occasionally where it's something odd's going on, or just it's a dream world, but it's a little less vivid, a little more just kind of a strange dream world, whatever. But a lot of my dreams are just intensely realistic, or it's pretty wild. But
Yeah,
like I say, this last week, I feel like I don't know if I had a little bit of a sick or something. Even last weekend, I stayed home one day just because I was not feeling really good. And this week, I was just like really exhausted. And for some reason, when I was sleeping really hard, and then waking up like, I don't know if you have those experiences, but like, it's like I would hit the pillow at like 8:30 or 9 o'clock at night and not wake up till like 7 or something in the morning. And I felt like I just went to sleep and woke up. Like I didn't even remember having, 8 or 9 hours of sleep. Like I
that's
just,
like my sleep every day.
yeah, no, I usually, my dreams are so, a lot of times like so involved that it feels like it was a long night. Or even if I don't dream a lot, like I usually can, I get the rest, or I feel rested. I feel like I slept a long night. But these nights it was like I hit the pillow and then I was just waking up, and it felt like 5 minutes went by and I'd slept all night, and I still didn't really feel rested. So I don't know what was going on with me this week. I usually don't feel that way. And I even waking up at like 7's weird for me. I'm usually up at like 4:30 or 5 in the morning. So I don't know
Hmm.
why. It's like sleeping in, even though it was only till 7, and still feeling unrested. So
Yeah.
I'm starting to feel better now, though. I go back to work to Saturday, so I have one more day off, and uh, I'm finally feeling rested up. Last weekend I did work, but I was like struggling. My work's pretty physical. I work at a Walmart distribution center, and I would like build pallets of junk all day long. Well, it's meat and produce, and it's just sort of a temporary job that I'm doing. I've been there though for almost 2 years, but um, it's very physical. But I only work 3 days a week, and last weekend it was a struggle. Usually I do fair with the job, but this last weekend I was like, we're under all these productivity numbers and stuff, and I was like, I know I'm not gonna, I know I'm not gonna hit, but our manager's pretty cool. She's like, everybody has the days, it's no big deal. So
Hmm. Yeah, gotcha. Gotcha.
yeah,
Cool, man. Yeah, I have a little bone to pick with something you said, not something you said, but something that people say, but you said, and it's you refer to like, waking life as reality. And I think our dreams is just as valid of a reality. It's just that most of us don't think of it that way. I mean, it's totally reality, right? I mean, what's
yeah,
not reality about it?
I look forward to my dreams, figure out what the heck's going on. Well, actually, I can't figure them out, but I look forward to my dreams.
Yeah,
It's
agreed.
another reality, like you said.
Right. Is it another reality or is it just like reality?
It might be an extension because they almost mine currently are starting to scare me, but I just came into this a little bit late, so I don't want to interrupt
Oh, it's
Robert's
okay.
channel.
Oh,
We all
you're fine. Yeah.
Um,
no interruption.
okay, because I'm having a lot of kind of like breakup and separation and some kind of almost and some kind of like big changes. And even I had a dream about my daughter and my grandson, and then I called them, and they happened to be working the same day together. My daughter owns a coffee shop, and my grandson happened to be there, and it was a very spiritual dream, and where she was kind of in trouble spiritually, so to speak. And I'm going through some major spiritual changes myself right now. And then my grandson, who is a big believer in Jesus, and I don't want to offend anybody here. My daughter is not a believer in really anything at this point, and that worries me because I feel like at least with some kind of faith. I've had too many experiences myself not to know that there's a greater, for my own personal, I don't want to, again, don't want to offend anybody. I'm just speaking about me specifically. I personally believe that there is a higher source, and my daughter doesn't so much, and my grandson does. But in my dream, because she didn't, um, I can't say I necessarily believe in a complete hellfire, but I felt like she was suffering because she didn't have any kind of faith or there's no hope. I guess it'd be, no hope and no joy. And it really worried me. And in my dream, she was having this effect on my grandson. And then when I just happened to call her, because I also it was just like it was a bad dream. It was not a good dream. Like something happened to her. Like it was fearful. And my
Yes, yeah.
grandson was there and in real life, and so he was trying to battle her. It was like a open spiritual battle in real life and also in my dream. If
Hmm.
any of that
Well,
makes sense.
Darla, can I chime in and give a piece of advice,
Yeah.
however unwanted it may be? Um, so speaking as someone myself, I'm not necessarily religious. I think the key thing to cover with your daughter is that just because you don't believe, let's say that there's an overseeing omniscient being, uh, doesn't mean that there isn't something else after death. That's number one,
Hmm.
because that has been something that's been hammered in our brains that it's either religion or like atheism, which is like everything stops and nothing's after you die. So there is a myriad of options in between that. So number two, um, concentrate. Have a if you ever and you kind of have to be in the mood for this, right? You have to have a conversation where you're both contemplative, sitting down and that kind of thing. But um, go through with her the things that she does believe in, that that she believes in. Um, does she believe in the human race? Like the human race, like we as a
Yeah.
species, as beings on this world, does she believe in the human race? Because she must, because
Right.
she's not, like if you don't, then you might be, some suicidal person, or like, you've given up all hope, like you're homeless at this point or something. But like,
Hmm.
if you're a functional, fairly well-conditioned, happy human being, you believe in the human race. And especially if you have children, or
Yeah.
are thinking of having children, right? And use that as a starting point. It's a great starting point, because I came to this conclusion way too late with my parents when I had my talk with them. but I approached it with them as that. I'm like, you know what? I don't have to believe in exactly the same things as you, but I believe in the human race. I believe in passing on our knowledge, wisdom, to my kids and the future generations. I believe that it's entirely possible that there's something after that. I just don't know what it is, and I'm not attributing any deity to it, right? Et cetera, right? So
Mhm.
it's one of those things that's it sometimes takes like we've been indoctrinated a lot into this kind of stuff. And
Yeah.
just like politics, it's there's not just two teams here.
Yeah.
There's a myriad of options. You just may not have been offered those options. Yeah. I apologize for the background noise, by the way. I'm in a hotel lobby in Dublin, Ireland here.
Oh, you're
Oh,
in
cool.
Didn't even notice it.
I didn't either, but that's so cool that you're in Dublin.
Yeah, here on vacation. So yeah, it's 12:47 a.m., but we had a full day and I'm still up. I am a little tired, but yeah, I haven't fully turned into Irish time, so which is whatever 5 hours ahead of Toronto time. So yeah,
Oh man, I'm so glad that you still made time to be here with us.
That is amazing. Yeah.
yeah, I wouldn't miss it for the world, buddy.
Oh, that's really great. Darla, so I'm gonna pull a little page out of Emily's book, and I'm gonna say, if this were my dream, that phrase really kind of like gave me the ick a little bit when I first heard it, like, a little ways back. But I started to really understand, like, why it's so valuable and the purpose that it serves. But like if this were my dream, I would focus on the emotion of it. And you said it was a fearful dream. And it's your fear. It's my fear. Like for my dream, it would be my fear, right? And
Mhm.
your fear is that your daughter, or the fear would be is that my daughter is, living a life without faith. And like to you, to the dreamer, faith is very important, and you may even consider it to be an essential for life, and the fact that she's, raising her son without that faith is something that really scares you, or the dreamer,
6 kids without that. Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And and it makes perfect sense that it tracks both in your waking life and in your dreams.
And it doesn't even have to be like any particular, I don't care about mankind's religion or anything, but to have some kind of hope kind of gives you joy. And well, I just don't even understand. Like I've had miracles happen in my life. I've had things that are unexplainable. I told you guys about, I think the car ride where I was up on two wheels and we ended up in like a golden bubble, a hue. And my girlfriend was in the car with me, and then we came back down. The music stopped, which was blaring because we were teenagers, and it was just silent. It was golden and it was peaceful. It was beautiful. And then we came down and we were on all four wheels, and then all of a sudden the music was blaring again and the bubble was gone, and we both just kind of like, what just happened? And then we both kind of forgot about it for a while, but um it was like just a couple things like that have happened in my life that just I can't explain what it was or who it was or anything else, but I just kind of wish that something like that would happen with her, um with everybody. I feel like if everybody had those kind of experiences, I don't think we'd have so much pain and hell in the world. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just feel like she's raising six of my grandkids, and I just feel like to say that there's nothing after this is just hard for me personally to accept. But yeah, the fear is there. It's in my dreams, it's in my head because my grandkids are being raised the same way, but two of them were raised by a different father, so they have a different foundation than the other four who have nothing.
Yeah.
And that just worries me. I can't. So it is affecting my dreams. I'm dreaming about it. And I'm dreaming about her because she's not a real happy person. She runs a business and she's got this family and they're living like the American dream, they are in Iowa, like they're in but they're just like you'd watch a sitcom about them, except for the fact that she doesn't have like she doesn't have the faith and she really doesn't have as much joy sometimes. And I mean, but I understand the stress of the two businesses. Actually, there's two businesses and six kids. I get it. But I just feel like, I don't know, it's affecting my dreams. So that's all. We can move to somebody else. I don't want to hog all the time.
No, it's good. It's good. Um, what do you think drives her? What do you think motivates her? What do you think like what
Her
do you,
kids, without a doubt, her kids,
hmm,
my
like
grandkids.
to take care of the kids?
Yes, even though she's running a coffee shop and um, the husband's, my son-in-law is running a tattoo parlor, and they just bought this, you know, building downtown Main Street there in Allwine, Iowa, that it's a historical landmark. And I mean, they've bit off a lot. They've bit off a lot, but they're making it work. They're doing it.
Right. And they're they're operating from a place of like surviving.
Yeah, and and what's really sad, she just lost a baby. She just miscarried and 5 months along. This was so traumatic. I mean, this was so, so, so traumatic for all of us. She almost died on top of everything else.
Mm,
And even after all of that, I mean, she truly almost died. And after all of that, because she got an infection after losing the baby, and she still has like she just thinks that you're here and then you're gone, and then that's sad because I guess that's what she thinks with the baby, because she it
I
was a
think that's
major
a
loss.
coping mechanism for all the hurt she's been through.
I think
If she's,
so.
yeah, if she's not allowing access to believe in something higher, that's because she's harboring some kind of anger and she probably can't understand like why me? Why is this happening to me? It must not mean anything then, that kind of um
Yeah, she
level of
punched
thought.
holes in everything that she was raised with. She had a stepmom, and her grandfather was a minister, and I mean, she knows the Bible, but she's punched holes through that. And I mean, there,
Yeah,
just
she's hurting. She's hurting. That's why she won't believe in it because she can't come up with an explanation for it. It's so deep that she'd rather just like push it away by saying I don't believe. I mean, at least that's what I'm picking up on and what I'm kind of understanding.
mm.
I just wish that I just wish something would happen that she could see just the possibility, like Conrad was saying, maybe just got to start with a simple conversation and just go from there, and maybe something will trigger something else. I mean, I just can't imagine not even with all we know and the stuff. Anyway, it just worries me. And then I'm talking to my grandsons who happens to be autistic, but highly intelligent in another way on the spectrum. And he's telling me of these shows that he's watching on TV, and I'm thinking it literally is a program about a a demon that possesses a man, and when he can't possess him anymore, he's sad, and he's sad for this demon. And I'm thinking, he's in second grade and he's watching this seriously? Like, what happens? I remember, I mean, I don't know, I'm old enough to remember 9/11, and they, they talked up, like there was a song that said, they were turn on the I Love Lucy or whatever. We actually went back to comforting programs and things that just anything comforting that we could find, but that included, for us going to church and just fellowship with family, relatives, friends, neighborhood, just, getting back to basics and just, but, and I'm thinking what does he have? Just,
Hmm.
this isn't
Hey,
a,
Darla. Can you hear me okay?
hi, Emily, yes.
Hi. Sorry, I arrived a little late. I'm actually, this is such an amazing topic. I didn't hear your dream, but I jumped in when you were sharing about just the higher power, and
Yeah.
concern for your granddaughter about her connection with her
Daughter.
higher
Yeah.
power and knowing how much that has contributed to your own sense of orientation in this life and given you so much purpose and meaning and really wanting that for your grandkids, and it's funny because I was late because I just stepped out of a 12-step meeting, and I've been in Marijuana Anonymous this week. I'm 5 days sober from marijuana, and it's a big reason why I
Vibration.
stopped doing my dream work and stopped facilitating dream work with others. And the key in 12 step is all about your relationship with your higher power. And a lot of people have a really hard time in the program with that piece. And I think like I know in my own family, like there was a lot of religious trauma in our family. And so the word God felt really triggering. And as people in my family went through the 12-step program, that was really hard for them to accept a higher power because of what they experienced in their own relationship with religion. And but what a key it is, to live a life of meaning and wholeness. But what I'm finding in like sitting with hundreds of people all day this past week in these rooms, the benefit of fellowship for healing, is that we all have our own unique relationship with this higher power. And for some of us, that might be our kids, nature. Like it's the life force that's flowing through all things that give us a reason to a purpose beyond ourselves, or something we can surrender to, but it just looks differently for everyone, and
She
um
doesn't have one at all. She doesn't
yeah,
believe in anything.
yeah, and you know what, some people won't, and I know it's hard when it's our family, but if it were me, it's like we can't control what other people do or what they think or what they believe. Like we can only control what we choose and what we do, right? And if your relationship is strong with your higher power and you're feeling frustrated because you can't control your granddaughter's relationship with your higher power, if it were me, something I can choose is to strengthen my relationship and pray on this, pray on this with my creator and say, please surround my granddaughter, please inspire her. I'm calling for healing. I'm calling you know, uh, for you to perform a miracle so that she can know that you're real. Thank you so much because I know this is true. Because leading by example versus sort of like, I don't know why you don't get this. Why wouldn't you get this and see this the way I do? Well, they just might not, but leading by example and showing the way through the enrichment in your life and how much your life is enriched through your relationship with Creator would probably convince them a little more to explore that, I would
It's a
think.
little bit it's a little bit of that attraction rather than promotion. I'm also in a 12-step program. I'm in recovery. I have just got a year of sobriety from alcohol on August 3rd. So
Congrats
congratulations
on
on
your
5 days.
year.
Thanks. But
Congratulations. That's huge.
I agree with you on that, though. Like I think of that attraction rather than promotion of AA is also the way that we
Yeah.
should kind of treat our faith or whatever. Like, I'll just act this way, and then when people see that I'm finding joy, and that, especially from where the dark places that my life has been, and then how it is now, it's like something's got to be attractive about that, and then the people might start asking questions, and then when they're going through some time, they can go, maybe start inquiring a little, like, what do you actually believe, or what, and then maybe what I could tell them won't be exactly what forms into their concept of higher power or whatever, but ultimately, when I think if you can lead
Yeah.
by example, because I definitely think when you try to just drill onto people, like you need to believe this, it can be a turn off.
I
It
would never do that.
gives them something to resist,
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I'm
Yeah.
not going to believe it.
Yes.
Yeah, I would
Yeah, it
never do
sounds like
that.
you're not like trying to preach at them. You just have a
It won't
genuine
work.
concern
No.
as a grandma for their
It's
well-being
just
and can see
affecting my
how.
dreams. It's affecting my dreams, and it's affecting how
Right.
my concern for my grandchildren. My daughter's an adult. She has the right to choose whatever life she wants to choose in her own belief system. I am concerned about my grandchildren not having hope. And I worry about them, in a day where it's so hard to get through the public school system, and there's so much garbage happening, so many shootings and all this crazy, insane stuff. And I can't help but wonder myself if some of it, I mean, I have a master's degree, in psychology. So I mean, and I haven't practiced it in a long time, but I mean, I get it. I understand, and I can't push anything on her. I feel helpless. We're not even in the same state. We're not even in the same
Yeah.
anything. Like they're Midwest, and I'm down east, and so it's that whole mother thing that it's
Oh,
affecting
yeah.
my dreams and
Do you
um
ever practice dream incubation, Darla? Like
dreaming what.
the dream incubation, it's when before you go to sleep, you set an intention for what you would like to dream about that night.
I've tried it. Really hasn't worked. It seems like it worked one time. I used to try that. It's been years. I used to try to do that, and the only thing I really successfully did was I used to have a recurring nightmare, and eventually I conquered it. And so yes, I have done that, but it was really specifically for one thing. And then after that, I was trying it, it didn't work. But I didn't care because I was so relieved from something else that happened that I've already shared in this group, so I'm not going to share again. But
Mhm.
I mean, well, with you later if you want personally. But I mean, I don't want to waste anybody's time. So, but um, in general, to answer your question, no. But that is a good idea. That is something to, yes,
Yeah.
that's a good idea.
Yeah, if
Thank
it
you.
were me, I might, before I go to sleep, pray with my higher power over my daughter and her grandchildren,
Yeah.
and then ask Dreammaker, ask the dream to for what it is, whatever you're intending, whether it's, I don't want to have these stress dreams anymore. Please show me a dream of peace, a peaceful dream, or please show me more about how I could help, my family. Um, they're just knowing like those dreams, like once you are given the dream, it's like you have a key to it and you can go back in and like you can make choices where you can redirect your dreaming towards your intention with practice, so that we don't to feel like, oh man, this is happening to me. It might be just happening for you right now to deepen your relationship with higher power and utilize that towards, the service of your family. But that's just for me. And I didn't hear your dream, so.
Yeah.
Is-
To piggyback off of what Emily's saying, and once again, if it were my dream, I would consider um, that higher power or that source or whatever you want to call it is just asking you to kind of double down on your own faith. It's kind of a test of your faith.
Hmm. I don't know. I'm pretty faithful in source, God, but I don't really have a term anymore, but and I'm not, but I mean, nothing's going to shake my faith. Um, and, it's just what I was dreaming this week, and it was,
Hmm.
it enough to bother me, enough to make me call my daughter. But it's useless to even, well, I don't know about useless, because the conversation included my grandson, so I think that was really helpful, actually. But and then, but anyway, yeah, I'm just sharing the dream, and that was it. And then I had another one, or something bit me, and I don't know, it's just been like it hasn't been the best dreams this week, but normally I love my dreams. Normally they're really pretty cool, but this week, not so much.
Something
And
bit you
that's
in your
okay.
dream, or you were woken from.
Yeah, something with like three prongs bit me in the arm, and I felt like it was taking DNA or something from me. And I don't know if I watched something on TV. I don't recall watching anything, but and all these dreams are real spiritual. They're very spiritual, and even it was kind of testing my faith in my dream, but I felt like it was kind of silly to try to even test my faith because I know how I feel, and I feel like my source, my God, knows that too. So I'm not really understanding that. And then in comes my daughter and my grandson, and then that's where things I still have faith. I also feel powerless, and I am powerless because she's an adult.
Mm,
I'm not responsible for her anymore. I'm still her mother, and I still have feelings. I still want to help or share, or but then especially when it comes to my grandkids, because I just feel like these kids that they don't have anything to they don't have hope. But when you don't have anything, then you have nothing. Then of course you're gonna have despair and depression and suicidal thoughts and everything else that goes along with it. And you're bombarded with all this garbage, and you're attacked at school. I mean, oh my gosh, I can't even imagine. And
hmm
so that's just me personally. This is how I feel. And I'm just concerned about my grandkids that way. I'm actually concerned about all students because I'm also a retired teacher. But, you know, um, again, that's what my dreams have been about.
hmm
Yep.
Well,
Well,
you're lucky that your grandkids have you and your unwavering faith, so they have that.
They're in Iowa. That's the part where maybe I'm
That's
feeling a little
okay.
guilty there. You know,
That's okay. If we're talking about higher power God, there's no
there's no
space or
distance, no
distance.
separation.
And
yeah.
and I have a mentor from Hawaii, and I went to her once. I was like, I'm so worried about my mom. I'm so worried about her. And she's like, don't worry about her. Just, you know, think for her, like pray for her, like wish for her the wellness, like not to take you out of your feeling of worry because that's valid, right? But like, when we're in those spaces of worry, especially being those who are strong in faith, we have a choice. And it's funny, I just looked up the etymology of the word powerless in my steps, and I'm a big word nerd. And the word, like one of the words for power in the old definitions was might or an angel. And I really liked that,
Wow.
that power, the angel piece of it. Like, I'm powerless. I don't have an angel here. I need an angel. And for me, angels aren't kind of like winged beings in the clouds. For me personally, it's like an angle to our higher power. It's like
Uh-huh.
angels are angles, right? And like the archangels are like would be like the 90-degree angles in the circle. They're like direct, right? We're like, but there's all these other kind of angles to creator, and it might not be that they find the same path to that, but each one of
Uh-huh.
us are born here kind of on our own from cradle to grave on our own spiritual journey, and there is always an angle there for us. And so, I will thank you for this medicine of this dream, because it's reminding me of the power of prayer, the power to pray over people that I'm really concerned for, and just ask, assign a personal angle for them. Ask creator, and it is hard to let go, but good on you for showing up and sharing in your dream and processing it. And like, I can hear how much you really, really care. That's so beautiful that they have a grandma and a mom who cares so much that in her dreams, she's waking up worried about this. That's so beautiful that they have you.
Thank you.
Hmm.
Do we lose Conrad?
No, I don't think so.
Oh,
Um,
No, I'm here. I was just I was going in and out here with the connection, so I shut off my video.
Oh, okay. Because I know that it's pretty late there, so or early.
Yeah. Yeah. I have a couple of different thoughts. Uh, so I, I definitely disagree with the take that, uh, getting into her head. Oh God, I can't remember how you phrased it, but um, this is why she doesn't, believe the same thing as you. Um, sorry, I can't remember how you phrased it, but regardless, I think whenever you're at odds with what you believe in and someone you are very close with, obviously what they believe in, I think the starting point shouldn't be you trying to prove to them how and why they should believe what you believe. I think it should be the exact opposite. You should you should approach it from a standpoint of I would like to know what do you actually like, what do you think actually then? Like, if you don't believe in me, like what do you believe in terms of like have you ever thought about it, or like do you think this or that happens, blah blah, blah, right? And get them to tell you their thoughts, and you may be very surprised by the answers they give.
She believes in she believes in nothing. You live, you die, you turn to dirt, that's it. All done. Lights
Mhm.
out. Congratulations, you had one life, that's it.
Right. So, and she has how many children?
6.
Okay. uh, those children all have at least 50% of her in them, right?
Correct.
And
Well,
they've been brought up
one,
by her, and they've been taught by her and mothered by her, et cetera, right?
yes,
So when she's dead, they live on, right?
correct.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
obviously,
I'm,
mostly
I'm
usually
agreeing.
that
Yeah,
happens, but yes.
yeah,
So so they carry on, and their generations carry on, and so on and so forth in a diminishing way. Once you get past second, third generation after you passed away, but it's there. So that already is a way that is indisputable, scientifically or religiously, to contend that you actually do live on, in a very real way. Um, and and I think the second thing is like,
oh, that's cool.
yeah, well, but it's just a fact.
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
never thought of it that way, but yeah,
Well, it's also the whole concept of, there's a lot of people that you may approach it from a standpoint because they don't believe this way, that like they're just like dead inside. But if you see from her that she is being a great mother, and and mothering with intention to better her children, like she's not just shoving them in front of a TV and feeding them Kraft dinner and shit. Like, if she's mothering with intention, well, she does believe in their future, right? She
yes,
definitely does, right? And I would argue that I think most women with children would, right? So, it's their literal, their birthright, really, in a lot of
yeah,
ways. So yeah, that lives on in eternity, like a parabolic arc that never reaches the end. It does have diminishing returns throughout history, but like the eternal parabolic arc, from a mathematical sense, it never reaches the x or y axis, right?
right.
So that lives on forever. Um, and um, I think that math and the wonderment of reality are reflective of each other.
Yes.
Darla, have you ever asked your daughter if whether she dreams or not?
Oh, she dreams a lot, actually.
Well, there you go. I mean, there's something that's sort of, you know, spiritual in nature and unexplainable. Something that's, you know, beyond the physical right there. And she can't deny that.
That's true. Yeah, she's a dreamer. Oh, she's a dreamer.
What does she think maybe that'd be an interesting conversation to have with her. Like what does she think her dreams are made of? Where do they come from?
I'd have to ask her. I kind of think I know what she's going to say, but I'd have to ask her.
Random gobbledygook.
Yeah, just whatever she just experienced during the day, whatever she saw, and then it just kind of all got distorted. And but she's had other dreams where this was years ago, where she was convinced that these are things that she was supposed to do. She used to use dreams as justification, but she's grown up since then, so she doesn't do that anymore. But
Hmm.
um, yeah, she does have dreams, so that's something.
Hmm. And just one other thing that you said that caught my attention, and you said that um, talking about your grandson and watching a demon show and kind of just things are meaningless, right? Just like what do they have is meaningless.
Feeling sorry for the demon that just kind of bothered me. Like he felt sorry for the demon because the demon couldn't possess his man anymore.
Hmm.
And the demon was sad. And I'm just like, oh
The
my God.
messaging so skewed, isn't it?
Yes. And he's like I said, he's autistic and he's in the second grade. This is a lot. And then, he's being raised with no beliefs, no hope, no anything. That's what concerns me. Just, what's he gonna, I just, I
Well,
don't know.
hold the horses on beliefs. That's not correct. That can't be correct. So we
What
don't
do
get we don't get our sense of right and wrong and our beliefs just from religion. There's
but,
millions of people that aren't religious, don't believe in God, that have excellent moral sense of values, right and wrong, understand equity, justice. That's yeah. So
what about peace?
those two can operate beside each other.
But what about peace, hope, and joy? I can see where you can get some joy and some peace. I don't know.
Well, I
I,
think maybe
I
for you, that's how you found joy and peace in your life, and that's worked well for you, you know. But we all have different paths to the same center. Yeah, it's interesting too, because like scientifically, just the theta brainwave state is the state that we're in when we're dreaming, and it's the same state that we're in when we're praying, actually. And they've studied the brainwaves of people from religions all across the world, or people who are non-religious who pray or meditate, and it's all the same brainwave state. So it is like the dream world is the place that
it's the energies, and I understand that. And as long as there's something there though. That I'm not saying you got to do this or be, you have to be Baptist or Mormon or Buddha or anything or practice yoga I just wish there was just some kind of foundation, and that's the only thing that worries me. It doesn't mean they won't find it on their own, and their own spiritual something. I don't know. I just think about when I was growing up myself and, parents are working and well, it's divorced family and all that kind of stuff and going home and just it was comforting to watch at least like if I'd get scared because I was out in the middle of nowhere, at least I could put something on the TV that was comforting and I also had, my God. It gave me something as a little kid and I just think like, both parents are working. Of course, they got a bigger family. I had sisters, but I was living with my dad, so it's kind of like an only child, so it was a little bit different. they don't have a chance to get scared, I guess. They're too busy. They're all boys, so they're all wrestling around. So I guess they're okay. I don't know. I was just, I was sharing my dream. There was fear in my dream, and the fear was, about my daughter and about my grandkids, but especially my daughter, more so my daughter than my grandkids in my dream. In reality, or in awake, I worry, I think, more about my grandkids. But in my dream, I was worried about my daughter
Hmm.
because she gets depressed. Also, she really suffers from depression. I actually want her to consider something like that ketamine treatment or counseling or I mean, something. She gets some severe depression, and especially now that she lost the baby, it's really hard for her to get up and function as a mom and as a business owner. She has a hard time. And then not have anything else to have hope for, then that makes it even harder. So,
Well, I'm glad that your dream inspired you to call her
oh,
and
I
just
definitely,
check in.
yeah.
I love those dreams. When I visit with people I love and I go, ooh, I need to check on them.
I like my other dreams better. So,
Of course, we all want pleasant dreams, right? That's the goal.
right.
Doesn't always work out like that, some of them. But I believe there's no such thing as a bad dream. There's always medicine in all of them, even the worst ones.
Mm.
Yeah.
Conrad, did you get a chance to see Darius J. Wright yet?
I have to say no because I
You're
was
busy.
busy like
Yeah.
pre-vacation stuff, and I just got too busy, to be
Yeah.
honest. And yeah, it was a bunch of stuff. Anyway, yeah,
Anybody else heard of
our
him here?
our
I don't know where Ann went.
our favorite cat died, and
No.
there was like a whole thing with that, and then had to get ready for trip and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's just been a really busy, kind of stressful week. So
Yeah, no doubt.
um I will look into them though when I get home. When I get home.
Are you in Dublin with your whole family, with both your kids?
Yeah, with the whole family, yeah.
Gotcha. Sorry about your cat. What was her name?
Oh, yeah.
Too.
That was Leopard, the cat I talked about, the hunter. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, man.
Got got caught by a bigger animal that is pretty
Oh,
unavoidable, which was the car. Yeah. So yeah, yeah. Unfortunately.
yeah, that's rough.
You know what? It was quick. It was super quick. So yeah, he lived his best life, and he was going to be totally undenied in terms of getting let out, and he was going to be miserable otherwise. So it's like, would you rather live you know a life of 15 years in misery when you're miserable and feel like you're in a jail cell, or 5 years uh as a free person, free cat, free soul, um doing what
Yeah.
you love to do, and living your best life? Yeah, so that's the question you got to ask yourself.
Live
Yeah.
fast, die young.
Yeah, quality, not quantity.
Yeah, I
Really.
think there's a lesson in that for all of us. Not necessarily that we need to go out, whatever, like Leopard, hunting in the woods naked. But
Maybe, who knows?
you never know, right? But yeah. So yeah, there's a lesson there for all of us, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
What is that? What is that? Get busy living or get busy dying?
Mm,
There you
mhm.
go. We're
True
going to
Shawshank Redemption quote. Yeah.
Mm.
we're going to go to North Carolina at the end of September. As James knows, it's all booked, James.
Oh, great.
Yeah, yeah, the flights are booked, everything's booked. So even the Verbo. Um, and it's gonna be neat because we're gonna be on fresh water instead of salt water, and um we're gonna be taking some classes. It's a it's a preppers weekend. I'm not a prepper, first of all, but it's preppers camp, and I can't, I don't know what it is. I love studying. I don't know if I'm a geek or what, but I like, there's things I like to learn. And they have like over 60 classes, and I want to learn some practical things. And it's all in one spot for one weekend. So we'll probably go to a handful of classes and then do some other stuff. But like wild mushroom hunting and things like that, I think will come in handy.
Yeah, it's too bad that they have to put that label on it. Just to
Yeah.
do some cool, practical things that like make you a human being, that they have to call it a prepper's camp. Prepare
Yeah.
you for the end of the world so that you know how to like, pick mushrooms and cook your own food in a pinch or start a fire or something, like anyway, I think that's so cool. Good for you. It's
Yeah.
those kinds of skills are invaluable.
They really
They're
are.
not.
And as you know, we're trying to run this farmstead here, whatever you want to call it.
Mhm.
And it just helps to know a little bit more. I mean, I've got a little bit of a background, and yeah, but it's just, you know, uh, I don't know, I'm a kinetic learner also. I like to just hands-on get in there and see what happens.
Same.
I'm
Hey,
I'm
on
I'm with,
on that
I'm with
note,
James on that, by the way. I can't stand that preppers thing. Self-reliance camp, you know?
Right.
It's just being self-reliant in nature, or self-reliant, teaching more self-reliance. Um, Self-reliance is very positive. Preppers is like, oh, you're preparing for the end of the world,
Right.
that the
Yeah.
connotation, yes, right?
right?
Or
And that's
you're
what it's
preparing
called.
for the shit to go down.
Yeah, that's what it is. And there's a lot of that those logos and a lot of that energy. It's gonna, that's what it's about. In fact, they have a campground there and cabins, but we're staying in a Verbo elsewhere. And so we're just, like I said, there's over 60 classes. I think there's like five that we want to take. It's over a 3-day weekend, so we'll be in and out, and teach their own, but we're not fanatics. We don't, no, we're not anywhere close to it at all whatsoever. But I do look forward to learning some new things. So,
Awesome.
yeah. And I don't care if it's the end of the world or not. I just don't really care one way or the other. If it happens, it happens. We all got to go sometime.
Sure. Sure.
And I don't think, for me personally, I don't think that there's a whole, unless you have some kind of underground, like the government does, where you have, this enormous city built or something like that, you, you're not going to survive pretty much any, you're not going to, for me personally, I'm not going to want to be around for anything. If a meteor hits, if, I don't know if there's anything, I hope, like, I hope it lands slap on me or something. I just don't. I don't want to have to go through a bunch of, not at my age, no, war, anything, whatever might happen, whatever they prepare for. I don't know.
Understandable. I
So,
kind of, I kind of I would like to experience it. If that's what it came to, I'd rather be here than not be here, but that's just me.
but you're younger, so
I
I've
guess
had a
that,
great life. I have no complaints. I've had a phenomenal life. I've got to travel places. Didn't make it to Ireland, but I made it to Italy, made it to Europe. But, I've been to France, Portugal. I've been to, the Yukon. I've had a wonderful life. I cannot complain. And I've had a lot of ups and downs, and I've had a lot of really trying hard times too. That's called life. And you know what? Now I'm 60, and I tried to get out of the boat the other day, and I pulled a muscle. Yeah. I- I'm glad I enjoyed my life when I did. And I'm still enjoying life, obviously, but you know, it's not going to go on forever. I know that much. I'm feeling it.
Well, I'm glad you're going to this camp and learning some cool new skills. And we won't label you a prepper. I don't think of you as a
Thank you. I don't like labels, so thank you,
sure, sure,
especially that one.
sure. Um, so speaking of um, going back to what we were speaking about earlier a little bit, um, Robert, Emily, in your 12-step programs and stuff like, um, I've been I've been free of alcohol and marijuana and sugar, processed food, caffeine even for about 8 months now until
Awesome.
about a week ago. And it's summertime, and it's not that I quit because I have like a terrible problem with those things. I quit those things because I've been feeling my body just hasn't been feeling great for like a long time. And I just figured like, all right, I'm going to eliminate all of these things that I think could be the culprits, and that was the start of it. But anyway, after cutting all that crap out, my energy was better, my body was feeling better, like I was feeling better, I was dreaming more, I've been more productive, like things in my life have just lined up. But like a week, 2 weeks ago, um, summertime, I'm like socializing a lot. People are drinking, people are eating hamburgers and freaking hot dogs on the. And so I kind of like I went back into that a little bit. And it's no surprise that it coincides with an amazing week that I had. I had an amazing week this week. I sold a ton of artwork, and like that's something that I didn't think would ever happen. I never thought that would actually really happen, and it happened. I made a lot of money this month from that. And so it's no surprise that like I had something really good happen, and then this old pattern just crept in and started pulling me back in, right? And but the thing that's different this time is that I'm like very aware of it happening. And I'm also very aware of this thing that's had me able to avoid the alcohol and the weed and all this stuff. And the thing that's had me able to get up every morning at 4 o'clock in the morning or earlier. I'm aware of that as well. And so I'm allowing myself, like, I guess you could call it some grace, these couple of weeks. Um, and and not giving myself too hard of a time for kind of slipping back into the patterns. And I'm doubling down on that I guess you call it willpower, on that willpower, um, coupled with faith, to kind of, make sure that I get back on the thing you know, um, that has me living a life that comes from my creativity and not my given context.
And happy birthday, by the way. You just had a birthday recently, so
Thank you. Yeah, I turned
yes,
21.
you'd want to, yeah, it makes sense you'd want to celebrate.
It makes sense what?
That you'd want to celebrate.
Yeah, yeah, it's funny. Yeah, like yes, I do want to celebrate. And it's interesting is that celebrating uh there's this I guess this cultural norm, this cultural conditioning that celebrating is eating cake and shit food and smoking and drinking and staying, you know what I mean? And I need to create a new definition for what celebrating is, and like I need to celebrate in my own way, you know? But yeah,
Yeah.
like I want to celebrate. Like there's some milestones and some big things that have happened, and I do want to celebrate. And and I feel like just like having this conversation with you is my way of celebrating.
Well, I think a key there is what you said in the beginning about, doing it with intention.
Yes.
You know, intention is absolute key. And, you know, unless you're in the case where, some kind of addiction was, ruining your life and ruining the lives around you. Yeah, it's just as long as you're not turning into somebody that you don't want to be, or like doing things that are not good for you, then yeah, whatever. It's go with the flow, right?
It's
But
a
with intent.
slippery slope for me,
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a fine line between discipline and abstinence, and there's a very fine line, and it's a slippery slope. So just
It is with everybody. Yeah, for sure. With everybody.
yeah,
That slope is always there, and some people have no stop sign and they're like, you know what, like you just can't drink at all because you have no stop sign when you
right.
start. And then other people like you or I, maybe, where it's like, yeah, I really enjoy food. I really, it's enjoyable. So, you can cut down, but yeah, it's how far do you take it, right? So,
Mhm.
Yeah, I know for me, like with using, it's funny I'm talking about this here because I've been in 12 step all day. I'm like, let's take a break and talk about dreams. But here we are. It's just, there's just synchronicities. But for me, like being a practicing dream worker and facilitator for others and being actively using cannabis, it was like trying to drive with my parking brake on. It was like I could still do it, but there's just this like push and this lull to get to the dream recall, to be able to really like fine tune my lucidity, to be able to be present with other people and be empathetic to them and their dreams. And I think because I have such an active dream life, I have really powerful, big visions that sometimes it's like, God, I just need some relief, like just make it stop, but it's also like a dam where like that dream formation is still flowing in, but I'm not really processing it. And so as soon as I sort of let off the parking brake or take that dam down, all of this stuff comes in and it can feel overwhelming, but over time it calms down and becomes more of a rhythmic practice, and early on, I was like, I got to catch every dream that comes my way. If I'm not remembering them, then I'm not doing it right, or just a lot of rigidity and self-judgment around my relationship with my dreams. And just realizing, sometimes you won't remember. That's okay. Sometimes you remember a lot. That's great too. Like it's a lifelong practice. And every night we have the opportunity to practice. And really every day, because we do a lot of journey work and guided visualizations and meditations and active dreaming in our dream council, where we're choosing to go ahead and dream together in more of a waking consciousness. So it's a huge inspiration for me, and coming and having a meeting with you, James, and coming here on Sunday and being like, yeah, the dream work, it's got me juiced. It's been a really great inspiration to maintain my sobriety from cannabis, just having that relationship with dreams and with all of you. So it's also interwoven. It's so funny that way. And would you guys mind if I shared a dream that I had recently?
No, not at all. Not at all. Please
It's
do.
actually like one of the first I remembered clearly or wrote down and remembered in quite a long time. So I dreamed that as I gain more momentum on my path, my soul doesn't have to come along like other people have figured out how to remove a soul from its body so that it can get replaced with different entities. And how I see it in my dream is like, I was like, it's like it was like my body was moving forward with, I think it was about my sobriety too, but it was like my soul hadn't caught up yet. And I was shown how like some people will like, there were these entities that would like feed on people who weren't in their body. Like if my soul isn't housed here fully and grounded here, then I'm more vulnerable for like other things to be
Hitchhike.
operating through me, almost like parasitic kind of energy, like the kind of entities that were trying to get in my body. Well, because my body was like whoosh, and my soul was still here, and I just saw these entities like chasing my body to try to get in there, and they felt very parasitic. Like they were like, it could be physical
Ooh.
parasites. I don't know that. Like
It's
I'm
it's
cleaning out.
loose.
Yeah,
And I
and
and we talked about that, I think, last time, and maybe that stayed in your subconscious, and that's why you dreamed about it, because we talked about how luge energy comes in and takes over.
What's
yeah,
luge?
So that must like, kind of.
the luge is like it's a collective energy that is attracted to, like in some traditions it would be attracted to soul, like innocence, or
It's like desperate souls that want to come and just like, party in a vacant body when the soul leaves. But
yeah,
it's beyond that. It's like it could be that, but it could also just be more of an energy field. Like
No, I understand. I understand.
yeah,
Energetically, it's a yeah, it's
it's
a
kind of like when you have a parasite and you go to clean the parasite out, and then it really reacts by trying to get your brain to want to feed it all the things that keeps it alive. And so it's like, I'm going to go ahead and get clean. But as I do that, the things that have been feeding off of my discordant energy are attempting to try to kind of grasp me back into, or they're inspired by that. And I really struggled with visitation dreams with entities for years, where in times when I was very disassociated in my waking life, and I would have dreams where entities would sort of tempt me into these agreements or contracts and be like, don't you want to go, like I remember this one dream where like they're like, do you want a healing? And so I lay down on a table and they start putting crystals on my body, and I look up and they're not human. They're very not human. And I'm like, wait, what are you doing? And at that point I'd like already given them permission, and they kind of, so there's a lot for me, I think, around energetic boundaries in general right now, and embodiment, and that the dream work is pointing me back to claiming my seat, claiming my throne of my body when I'm here and I'm awake, but also when I'm asleep. Like, dream maker, before I go to sleep, please protect my energy field, protect my body. Like, this is where I'm gonna go. Like, it's willpower, right? It's like I'm going this way. I'm actually drinking Wyusa tea, Wyusa is an Amazonian herb for lucid dreaming. And it helps you because it has a little caffeine, but there's other compounds that help you so you can still sleep. So you can, when you go to sleep, you can still maintain some clarity of mind into the dream. So the indigenous people in the Amazon work with the Wayusa for dreaming, for just clarity and for intentionality. And so I'm working with that right now, with that dream in my waking life, to just say like, hey, I'm going to claim this. The second part was that I saw a table and there were 3 different artists' art on it. And I recognized the art on the right as being the most familiar piece, but when I awaken, I don't remember what it looks like. I do know that in waking life, I've been working on like a three canvas piece. And it's sort of like an upper world, middle world, underworld depiction is what I realized like after I made them. And the last time that I had them laid out, the one on the right was this wave. I should find it, but it's like a big wave. And so now we're sharing and reflecting, maybe those are the pieces of art that I saw, but not quite sure. It would be a fun exploration to just paint and like go back into the dream and paint and just say like, what did I see? And just do my best to translate that. But yeah, any insights from the group is warmly welcomed.
Do you remember more specifically where the table was?
Let's see. Well, I'm there. I can see the table. It's like a folding table. It's like a gray plastic folding table. And I'm looking up and it looks like a big like field, like a parking lot. I don't know if it's like a market or like a flea market or something.
Oh, okay. So it's not okay.
It's like a fair or something. But what's weird is I did just get asked to have a table at a fair recently. But I was like, what am I going to put on the table? So that's interesting.
Hmm.
Could you explain Dream Maker to me, please? I don't mean to sound ignorant. Is that
Oh,
a
yeah.
real
So
thing
that,
to you, to and everybody but me? I mean, I don't know who or what Dream Maker is.
yeah. Yeah, so that's a term I picked up from Dr. Clarissa Pinkola Estes. She wrote the book Women Who Run with the Wolves, and
Okay.
she's an amazing author and scientist, doctor, and just medicine person. And she coined that term dream maker, and I really liked that because before I go to sleep, I like to speak directly with the I imagine is the dream maker. Now, if you might think you might say dream maker is God, the it's speaking directly to that which is creating the dream world in which I am
Okay.
participating in. So I'll say things like, thank you, dream maker. Thank you for this day. Thank you for my ability to dream. Please show me, show me, show me. And when we do our journey work, we also will say the same thing, referring to the dream world itself as being created by the dream maker.
Thank you. You remind me, I dreamt of I was a wolf once in my dream, and I could feel every muscle in all four legs. It was the most incredible dream ever, but I that was a long time ago. You just reminded me with saying that book. Um,
Oh
you're
yeah, women who run with the wolves, women who run as the wolves.
Yeah.
I had a dream once when I was working with an herb called Kalia. It's like Calea, and its full name is Kalia Zakadachichi, which is
Oh my
really fun to say. Zakadachichi. It's like such a funny word. It's a Mayan herb, Central American for dreaming, lucid dreaming, and I had my first experience with Kalia. I dreamt I was running alongside a horse. And then all of a sudden I realized I am the horse and I was running as a horse and I could feel my body,
That's so
self.
cool. And the breathing and the everything, feeling every muscle and breath.
Yeah, feeling their strength. And
Yeah.
I mean, and I guess in that way, like going
Also,
back to the dream around entity attachments and stuff, it's like I've entered into the body of other bodies as a soul in dream time as well, like um not all spirit entities necessarily are malevolent. But yeah, it is pretty cool to have that experience of being in a different body.
Hmm.
are you an herbalist also? I mean, you seem to know a lot about herbs.
I am. Yeah, I've studied herbalism with my mom growing up as a kid, and then I've interned at some farms and worked at apothecaries for a while. I worked at this little old house in Portland that was a little apothecary, and I was like a little witch doctor.
Maine or Portland, where? Which Portland?
In Southeast Portland,
Oregon.
Maine? Oregon?
Oregon.
Okay. Curious.
Darla and I live in Maine, and Portland's like the city here. I think, yeah, hopeful.
I worked for Bank of America. I spent a full 2 weeks in Portland, Oregon. Went to every restaurant of
Oh yeah.
yeah, all of the Greek ones. I mean, all of them. They were so great.
You can definitely eat your way through Portland.
Voodoo donuts.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh, that was so great. But
Oh,
you're opening my mind to some, or I've never, the stuff that you're describing is fascinating to me. It's different than anything that I really have you even heard of, really? I mean, it's just, or maybe on a different level. It's interesting.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad. I think we're all coming here to learn new things.
Right. Right. Yes.
Yep.
And the sobriety thing too. My husband has 2 years. Now that it's August, technically I do too, but my thing has been more food, and I've lost over almost 70 pounds actually. But I still, like, as we're speaking, I crave, as soon as um James is missing, we're talking about birthdays and cake, and I'm like, all I could think of is like, I'm so glad I didn't buy the ice cream, but I want some so bad right now. And should I get up after this and go bake so I have something to share with me? Because I am craving sugar like crazy. But I know it'll pass also. It always passes. So
It does. Sugar can really mess with our dreams too. I noticed when I quit sugar that my dreams became a lot less anxious. I just became less anxious in general.
I
But
can't even think
it's
about
a
quitting
tricky
sugar.
one. It's so tricky and it's everywhere. But
Stay strong, Darla. My technique when I'm trying to be strong about that stuff is I go straight to my best, healthiest treat that I love.
yes.
Oh,
It's substitution where you still get a reward, right? So whatever it is, right? So for me, it was whatever, smoked salmon with
oh yeah.
tomato on crackers or something like that, or whatever. But like whatever, it can be anything, right? So
Yeah, when I was quitting sugar, whenever I had the sweet craving, I just go for fruit. I had so much dang fruit. It was a lot of fruit, let me tell you. But
I believe you.
fruit, maple syrup too. I just replaced my sweetener with maple syrup because at least you get those good minerals and stuff. You can remineralize your body, you still get the sweetness. And I've heard too, when we crave sweetness a lot, it's because maybe we're looking for sweetness in our life too. Sweet relationships or sweet moments.
Oh, that makes sense.
Mm. It's a
I
really
think
nice
I can
thought.
probably wind up some maple syrup in Maine.
Yeah.
Well, hey folks, I'm gonna go because I'm actually going to a meeting right now, and it's a standing meeting that I go to every Thursday. So, but I appreciate being here. Congratulations on all the sounds like sobriety slash discipline journeys, whatever people are on. A takeaway from what you were saying for me, James, when I first got sober from alcohol, I just wanted to like stop drinking and stop having the problems I was having from drinking and all that. But through this process, I found a lot of other self improvement has happened and has been happening. And, um, that's one of the big motivators for me to kind of stay with the path that I'm on is because, like I realize all that thing you mentioned, how things were just sort of going better, things were like nicer, and then you fall back into these old patterns. And I fear going back to the old patterns because for me alcohol was pretty devastating. It took me to some pretty dark places, but um even without that, just a lot of the behavior decisions in general that I've made in sobriety and started to just keep an eye, kind of part of the 12 steps, kind of just keeping an eye on my behavior. I've just started to improve in a lot of different areas. And as far as trying to attack everything at once, I vape, I still eat a lot of junk food and sugar and stuff. If I try to let it all go at once, I think it'd be a struggle, but
Mm.
I still am improving, like exercise. Well, I was pretty lethargic in my drinking and stuff, and now I'm very active again, and just like life's improving a lot. And I think that if nothing else, if you don't struggle with addiction or alcoholism or anything, but you make those attempts toward some sort of self improvement, and you see some of those outcomes, it's hard to go back fully back to some sort of innocent using, if you will, just going back to I'm just going to go back to my old ways, because you'll go back to getting sluggish, you'll have those effects that you are not desirable. And you know like for me, this life that I found today, it's just so much better. I couldn't see myself, even if I got, and I did. I had 2 years, and then I went out for like 10 days only, and it got really bad in 10 days. It went from like, I was just going to sneak a few beers to like a half a gallon of vodka a day. And I was like, wow, that went quick. And I ended up actually in the hospital in the end. And so,
Mm.
but I got right back on the ball is my point. And so, I don't really fear something happening again going forward, but if it does, like, I'm glad I've actually realized this life that I've had now, so that if I go back, I'll be like, no, it's not working. And I'm sure I'll quickly make it back if I make it back. Cause some people don't in this process. Some people go out, and unfortunately it takes them out. Something does, and I hope not to be that statistic, but I'm grateful that I, found some recovery finally in my life. And on that note, I really enjoy this community. It's interesting because you mentioned, Emily, that you've been in all these 12-step meetings, and I was in a meeting today at noon, and they were talking about the topic was specifically higher power and people's different ideas and interpretations. And I came here not even thinking about talking about anything about that. And then you announced you were like 12-stepping, and then the topic kind of became around higher power, and I'm like, dude, like the synchronicity of this whole thing is a trip sometimes. But
Yeah.
but I found this community. I look forward to seeing you guys again next week, and participating more. So thank you guys for having me here. I'm gonna head out.
Yeah, Robert.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Robert.
thanks for being here. Congratulations. Thanks for sharing. And yeah, if I hope you consider this, a place where you can come and just bring whatever. Bring the
I
dream,
do.
bring yourself.
I feel like comfortable quickly, and that's cool. I like
Cool.
that. So
Awesome. We love
all
it.
right, guys, have a good one.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Super cool.
Yeah.
Denise, I know you mentioned you had a lot of dreams. Did you want to share any?
There was still that dream from last time that was different. I don't know if you guys wanted to.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, let's give, I mean, we can give it another 10, 15 minutes. You know,
yeah. First off, Emily, it's interesting. My brother, finally, like my brother's been smoking weed religiously since he was like 13 years old. And he won't like he's always been like, I'll never quit, it's my life, whatever. But just recently, like in the last week or so, he actually said, like, I'm ready to quit. I actually want to quit now. And it was like my parents and I were like, like, what? Like, never has he ever like said that and taken it seriously. And then here you are saying that there's a 12-step program for that. I'm like,
Yeah.
I want
Yeah,
to
I'm happy to send you info because there's online Zoom meetings every day, all day. And all you need is a desire to want to stop. And that was really helpful for me because, the first day I showed up, I was smoking on the meeting with my camera off. Second day was like, maybe I won't smoke for that hour. And third day was like, maybe I'll try to take 24 hours. And so it did really help. And also just fellowship, like what we're doing right now, it's so healing to just be with other people. It's like the topic, it matters, but it's also just feeling isolated or alone in our experiences. And then that can, make us want to go back to those habits we don't want to do anymore. So yeah, I'm happy to send you a link that you can send along to them, and let them know, if all you need is a willingness not to do it anymore, just show up as you are.
Yeah,
It can be, it's not for everyone, but
for the first time in his life, like we've all like heard him say that, and you can, there was a difference. There was like he wasn't just saying it. Like you could tell it like what he was saying, it was real. Like for the first time ever, we were like, oh my God, he means it. Like this is different.
wow, that's a big breakthrough.
Yeah.
It's big. Yeah. And when it's hard. We think this is it. Like I remember just thinking I was such a freaking genius when I was high. Like, oh my God, I'm having the best idea ever. It's so spiritual right now. But like it's not, it's kind of like smoke and mirrors, no pun intended. So, but it
Yeah.
is challenging when it's culturally accepted. And then AA, a lot of people go there, and then you're not supposed to talk about other cross addictions. So people who drink, it's not the same. It's not the same experience, not the same substance. So it's really great that MA has opened up Zooms, because there's not a lot in cities that are just MA. Like a lot of people have to go to AA, and they're kind of like, yeah, that kind of makes sense, but not really. So it's a huge resource.
Yeah, I didn't know that existed. That's interesting because he was actually asking about hypnosis. Like he's like, maybe I should do hypnosis, and he was looking into that. The ironic thing though is he he's steering his business into like wanting to open, like he wants to he likes to grow weed, and he wants to grow it like big time and have supply it and do all this stuff. But then like you can tell like he's in a sober state and so business minded when he talks about that, and he has such a passion for it that he's like, ironically, like as I develop this, I don't want to smoke it. I want to just like be around it and sell it and grow it and everything. And he's like, and I think the more involved I get with all of this, the less I want to smoke it, unless I have to try it to test it. But then it won't be to get high. It just be to for the consistency and blah blah blah. He goes on forever about this stuff. And so I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
Mm.
I really like what Brandon said before he left about like he hits his vape and stuff, or tobacco vape or whatever still. Like, sometimes too with like those processes of recovery, like it's not like I'm just gonna quit it all, because our lifestyles are so built around it too. So, and like my dream, right, where it's like if I go too fast, far ahead, it's like, can my soul keep up? Like keeping up with yourself in your process. So yeah, like especially if like your whole lifestyle is kind of revolving around a certain thing, and then you want to change something about yourself that's the core of that lifestyle, that's a big change. And it can take time and just like small steps towards that direction. And I'm just finding for myself like the biggest piece that's helping is just being with other people and just fellowship and showing up in the opportunity to be in service to other people has been really healing too. So, if I can do it, they can do it. I used to grow weed too and be all up in the business of it. It's a lot, though, you got to be willing to shift a lot in other areas of your life to stay clean.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting journey for sure. But speaking of my brother, he was actually in the dream that was on August 23rd. So I'll just read what I wrote and then I'll explain, I guess. Um, I had like three different dreams, but they're all blurring together now as I try to remember them and make sense of it in order to try to explain or write it down. Why does it all become such a blur? One was a road trip to go snowboarding that ended up being a hiking mountain climbing trip. I think my brother Stephen was with me. Pretty sure he was actually. So that's my brother that I was telling you. We go snowboarding together all the time. And we just love the mountains. So we went on this journey. Um, then it may have ended having to sleep at some stranger's house that had a cat that was very curious with me or about me and kept getting in my face when I tried to sleep. So I have like, and that's it. That's all I have written down for the dream. But I do remember in the dream, like trying to sleep, and this cat was just like in my face and staring at me. And I'm like, why is this cat on me? And I'm like putting the blankets over me, and the cat's like pulling the blanket and just wants to like get in my face and stare and look. And it was just really weird. Like, why is this cat in my face? So
Hmm.
Was there a third part? Or was that
that's all I remember. But there were like several dreams. Like I said when we got on the call, like every night there's been like several, and those are just kind of the two that I picked up on.
got it?
Do you have a
What's
cat
your
at all?
What?
Do you own a cat at all?
I don't.
Yeah, I'm wondering why is the cat in your face?
I don't know.
Not sure yet. Yeah.
And did you know about Conrad's cat prior to this dream at all?
No, he just told us this right now that his cat died. He just told us that today.
Huh.
Um, I would want to go back to the first dream, and I want to know about what's the difference to you between going skiing or snowboarding or whatever it was and hiking a mountain.
Oh, because one had snow and the other one didn't. It was like hiking like up the side of a mountain, like not in snow, not in that kind of scene, like
But
in the like
so, but the
what we
dream
saw on
started
a
off
hike.
like the dream started off like your intention was, your plan was to go snowboarding.
So it started off snowboarding, and maybe there was like hiking throughout snowboarding, and then it changed scenes to like just a different hiking trip.
So it was, so it changed scenes, but it sounds like it kind of also changed seasons.
Or it could have been changed dreams, and I just remembered it that way, blurring together, because I remember having a lot of dreams.
Hmm.
So I don't
Was
know.
it harder to hike?
Was it hard? Was it a hard hike?
Was it harder to hike than to snowboard?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it was like a weird
And
trail
you went
too.
with your brother?
The interesting thing is like I'm not looking at from like I'm not hiking in POV. Like I'm seeing this like huge mountain with rocks, and I see me and other people, and it like keeps cutting from like me like more close up like climbing it, and then like but I did see like a big wide shot from afar of like us climbing up these rocks on this trail. Um, so it would cut back and forth between the two.
Who are you with? Is you and your brother and anybody else?
I know me and my brother were there, and I don't remember if there was anybody else.
Okay. Now, is there a distinction for you between hiking and snowboarding? Like, I know that hiking's like more difficult, more strenuous, but it sounds like you enjoy doing both of those things and doing them with your brother. Like,
Um, I haven't hiked that much with my brother. But yeah. Um, yeah, I love hiking.
hmm, okay.
And I mean, and I've hiked mountains that I've snowboarded because when I lived in Aspen in the summertime, I hiked all the way to the top of um of Aspen and then take the gondola down. Yeah, that was fun.
And what's the feeling? What's the emotional tone? What are you feeling in the stream?
I don't remember anymore. This was the 23rd.
Okay.
I don't remember because I've had so many other dreams since then. Um,
Is there a feeling of like expectation, anticipation to be snowboarding, and then you find yourself doing something other than what you had expected to do?
Interesting, because my brother and I keep trying to plan a snowboarding trip for this winter coming up, and we just don't know how we're going to make it happen. But we're like, we have to make it happen
Mhm.
because I want to take, I want to take my nephew, my brother's son, and I want to snowboard with him this winter since he's the perfect age to. This is the funnest age to snowboard with a
Oh,
kid.
get them out there,
They're-
get them learning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, like he's already gone without me a couple of times, and he's not easy to teach. He's not a very good listener. So even though I can teach him, he probably won't learn from me because I'm family and he's not going to pay attention to me the way he would a regular teacher.
Hmm.
Um, but I know that I can give him tips that he'll have breakthroughs, whether, he'll listen or not, or like depends on how I have to hint it to him because he's not afraid. He's a little daredevil. He'll just take off without even knowing what to do. He just goes for it. And so
How old is he?
he's 8. And this was like last year when he was 7. I wasn't there, but my brother was like, I couldn't teach him anything because he was just telling me to shut up and he would just like slide down the mountain and like not want to hear anything. So I was like, well, then if the two of us go with him, there's a way to show him without telling him what to do if he's not going to listen. So like we've talked a lot about that. So my brother and I like have this plan of how like the two of us are just going to go to the mountain with him. We're going to tag team how we're going to teach him.
Yeah, you'll just be the examples.
Mm.
Got it.
Yeah, I'm excited about it.
And how about this cat? Do you have a cat?
I don't have a cat.
What's your relationship to cats? How do you feel about cats?
Eh,
Meh.
eh.
What kind of a cat was it?
It was a black cat or really dark gray.
Did you like it being in your face?
No.
You wanted it to get out of your face.
Yeah. But it wasn't like, you know how some cats are really like kind of invasive or mean or whatever?
Mhm.
This one wasn't like I wasn't not gonna say scared, like I'm not scared of cats, but you know how you have to have a certain level of respect for most cats, right? This one was different. It was like it was just very inquisitive. Um and like it was kind of interesting that it was curious about me, but then it was like, all right, buddy, like let me sleep. So it was like a whole like kind of interaction, you know, like personalities and everything. It was weird.
Yeah. I wonder if you were to go back into that moment when you woke up and the cat was there and just like choose to do, just see what would happen next, or maybe choose what would happen next. What would you want to do about
Yeah,
that?
I was just like, what does this cat want? Like, why is it so curious with me? Why is it in my face? And it was like a comforting kind of cuteness, inquisitive, but it was also like, all right, I'm trying to sleep. Like, go away.
Do you want to play a little game, a little dream game?
Sure.
Basically, the idea is that, like, if you were to step into the role of the cat and speak as the cat, like, I'm the black cat and I'm in Denise's space, I'm really curious about her right now. What do you, if you ask that cat, why are you in my face right now? What do you think they would say to you?
I think I kind of was asking that, you know, like what? Like, what is it?
So, like, if you were just to play like a game, like
Uh,
in your imagination, no wrong answer, just as the cat, if you were to ask, like, what do you think the cat would say to you?
hmm. I don't know, because that's
Like,
what I
how are you feeling, cat? You're feeling pretty curious?
the cat could just be like, just like who are you? Like I'm very curious about you. Like there's something different about you. There's something um like that, like a connection. Like who are you? Like
Like a spirit animal?
maybe.
Because I don't know much about that, but I know people believe in it and dream about their spirit animals.
Yeah, if it were me, like, maybe as the cat, like, I'm really curious about you. I want to connect with you more, but maybe the way I'm going about that isn't the best way. Like, maybe you're needing a little bit, if I'm the cat, like, maybe you're needing a little more space so we can see each other in a little bit, with a little bit more distance.
I love this game.
Hmm.
This is called the Gestalt method. And Fritz Perls was really in developing that with DreamWork in the 60s, as like you can speak as the characters in your dreams because they're all a reflection of you, right?
Right, right.
And you can talk directly to them. And like I like to do this in my journal, like, hey cat, why are you in my dream? And then I'm the cat. I'm curious about you. Well, why are you so curious about me? Well, because I really want to, I see that something's different about you. And like, I want to get closer to that. Like, something's different. What's going on? And just kind of see what they say.
Hmm.
Cool.
Yeah, it was and I kept trying to like push it off like let's just do this later. Like why are you in my face? And I think
Hmm.
This is like when I kind of started waking up and fading back into sleep and waking up where it was kind of like what do I do? Should I just like grab the cat and like cuddle with it and take it under the blanket instead so that it's not in my face? Like what do I do with it? Like I don't even know this cat. Like it was just kind of
Yeah. I wonder what would you want to do with it that would feel the best.
when it was in my face like that, like I think I wanted to just be like, all right, if you're gonna be in my face, then just let me control you instead of you being in my face, right? Like let me
Yeah.
grab you and cuddle you over here.
That
I like
reminds me
that you pull
of
it
the,
closer to you. I like that feeling.
Yeah.
Definitely,
Like
Because
definitely.
you're
then I
bringing
have
it
more
in.
control over it instead of being in my, yeah.
Yeah.
What is a cat to you? Like what are the things that cat brings to mind? What are the characteristics of cat, according to Denise?
Cats are very independent. Um, cats are they're interesting and they're all so different. They all have just such different personalities. You know, you got to have such respect for them and know where they stand and just let them come. Like, don't ever chase a cat. Let them come to you, kind of thing. And I learned this also the hard way. Growing up, we had a cat that we did not get along. This cat and I did not get along. Like he was mean. He was super mean and he would wait when I would come home, he would come up behind me and scratch my calves, like my legs and come up behind me all the time and I'd be like, "Get out of here." And I'd be kicking it. Turns out years later, my brother did tell me that they accidentally locked the cat in my bedroom for like 3 days when I was out of town and the cat went crazy and maybe that's why the cat, because it was in my room and it had all my senses and smells or whatever, like then it had this bad association with me and that's why it was attacking me. And I'm like, all these years I was tormented with this cat and I didn't know that it was because you had it locked in my room. So I don't know the timeline of that. But yeah, like I was always just very weary of cats because this one was just such a mean one. He was so mean. He was so cute, but he was so vicious.
Denise, I feel like there's this, maybe I'm way off base, but I can't help but think that there's some kind of slight correlation between this cat and that realtor that you had issues with. The whole female persona and the way in your face and get out of the way. Just some of the terminology that you're using this time, I feel like it was similar to last time. I
That's
don't,
very interesting. Okay, okay.
it's just a thought, you know.
Hmm.
Huh. She does have jet black hair.
Is there any similarities between the cat of your childhood that you're just talking about and the one that was in your dream?
No, because if it was this one was I felt like it was kinder.
Hmm.
The one in my childhood dream was not kind. He was kind of vicious. This one was like cute and inquisitive and kind and more gentle. Like, yeah, it was in my face, but it was still gentle.
Interesting. It's interesting that you have this association with that particular cat, and it's not necessarily a positive experience. And you've got this cat in your face in a dream, and it's not necessarily a positive experience again. And your inclination is to pull it closer and say, if you're going to be here, well, then, we're going to do it my way. I
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
but she wanted to get in like a neck hold too, though.
Yeah, she wanted to put it in a friggin' headlock. It's like, all right. But, you know, you weren't trying to push it away or, keep it, at a distance.
Yeah.
In fact, you
It
wanted
was
to
cute.
pull
It was a
close.
cute cat. It was like just, it was cute. You can
Yeah.
see a little paw, like just like try and pull my blanket down, like just keep getting in my face.
So I think, with the cat in the dream, I think the important thing is that the cat represents a curiosity and like um, a desire to know you, to get a little closer to yourself, and you also are reflecting a desire to get a little closer to that cat.
just on my timing, not the cat's timing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, we're all doing this dream work stuff, and for me, it's about, it's about knowing myself better. It's about knowing how I relate to other people. And it's about knowing who I am inside of that group and who that group is to me. So it's like this whole dynamic thing, and you know, it's a process of self discovery and self knowing and stuff. So maybe it's just
Yeah, thanks for sharing your dream. You know, if it were mine too, I'd keep an eye out for those black cats in waking life too, to just see what's up, where they appear, or you know, when they're inviting you.
Yeah, I mean, cats are cool. I have nothing against them. I like dogs better personally because they're just cool and for the most part, unconditional love and friendly. And cats, things have to be more on their terms, like dogs are like, cool, I'll do whatever you want. But cats are like, no, everything's on my term. So
Yeah,
there's like a certain respect level for cats. So yeah, they're cool and everything, but I'm not like, oh my God, I love cats. Like it's like, okay, they're cool. They have their space. If they're interested in me, I'm here, but I'm never gonna go chasing a cat's attention.
yeah. And the dating world, that's a term too. Like there's black cats and golden retrievers. Type people who date black cats are a little bit more like, you can come to me, a little bit more nonchalant, or you can chase me, but it's kind of on my terms. Where a golden retriever will be more like, that's not even just for dating. I think in relationships we can kind of have different personalities, and it's like, yeah, I could deal with that black cat personality, all right. It's not my favorite vibe, but I could learn how to cohabitate with that, I suppose.
That's funny because I had a golden retriever, and when I had this cat growing up, we had a golden retriever also, and they were best friends. They were like best friends, and the dog had a lot of patience for the cat. And then the cat would go and chase all the birds, and then all the birds would attack the dog by association because they were not bothered.
Poor
Was,
guy.
I know, they're so cute. The cat actually, once the dog died, he was like 15 or 16 years old. He died of old age. But when he died, everybody was so depressed that the cat was so depressed after
Oh.
the dog died. Like I guess my parents had left this. I was living in California, so I wasn't there for this, but my parents had left the dog bed, where it was in front of the fireplace for a few days, and the cat, they would wake up in the middle of the night because there was like this screeching, hurling, weird sound, and they're like, "What is that?" And it was the cat like rolling around, crying and screaming on the dog's bed, and they were like, "Oh, well, maybe we should get rid of that."
Oh,
Oh.
And then
Yeah.
once, then like a few months later, like the cat ended up dying. Like he got run over by a car, which like that never happens. But he must have just like he lost his touch. He wasn't eating as much. He was so depressed when the dog was gone.
Oh.
Now they were really close. I think a picture right over here.
well, thank you for sharing the
Yeah.
dreams.
Okay.
Oh, I
Oh,
just love
what's their name?
Bronco and Michi.
Bronco and Michi.
Thank
Bronco's
you.
the dog, and yeah, you can't see you can't see. It's okay. There's
Yeah,
Michi.
that's so
Oh,
sweet.
yeah.
Yeah, I had this dream one time. I had a cat named Norman. He was like a orange Norwegian forest cat, and I was sleeping, and I'm like in my dream, and I look over, and there's Norm, and he's just staring at me, and I'm like, "What are you doing here, Norm?" It was like, "What is happening?" And I wake up, and there's Norm, and he's just staring right at me, like, "It's time to eat now." And he literally went into I believe he went into my dream and was like, "I mean, wake up, I'm hungry." I was like, "Wow."
Hungry. Oh, that's hilarious. I mean, they have abilities, these cats, right? I don't know.
Yeah, we had a person in our dream council whose cat would always wake them up out of their dreams. They were like, I thought I remember, and then my cat was kept meowing at me and wanting to get food. And what am I going to do? They were like trying to block him out of the room, and that was making it worse. And eventually I was like trying to troubleshoot this with them. I'm like, why don't you just tell them what you dreamt? Like, just let your cats be your first living dream journal. Just as you're pouring their food bowl, be like, okay, let's see. So last night, you guys, this is where it was. Seemed to help a little bit, at least to retain it until they could get to the journal. It's like, if you don't have a journal, like tell your house plant, tell your cat, like just tell the bus driver if you want, you know.
Or maybe that cat, is the luge entity trying to get in there.
No, because this is a cute, nice cat. Like luge energy is creepy. Like
Oh,
I've
you know,
actually
cats, they can put on the show, you know.
I've seen the luge energy, man. It's like it's weird.
Yeah.
When
I
you
never
know
even
it's
heard of that
around
either till
and
tonight.
what?
I never even heard of that either till tonight. I'm learning a bunch tonight.
That's why it's
I hadn't heard
dream
that word either.
school.
I know you never know what's going to come up as a topic in dream school.
Yeah. That's what I love about it. Anything else before we get wrapping up?
Yeah, it's getting late, huh?
Yeah, for me.
Hour call. Thanks, everybody.
Before we go, Emily, can you just remind me what what it is that you're drinking?
Oh, I'll put the name in the chat so you can see how it's spelled.
Oh,
But
good.
it's called Guayusa, but it's spelled like Guayusa.
Oh, okay, yeah, I've seen it. Okay.
And then the other one I mentioned is
Oh,
called
yeah.
Kalia Zakatachichi,
Sakadachichi.
which is a very, very bitter herb, like the most bitter. So if you wanna, if you guys ever need, herbal dream tips, I have a ebook we made like 10 years ago that's like herbs for dreams and sleep. I'll see if I can find it and I'll share it in the school if and when I can find it from the archives. But it's kind of sectioned in a different section. So there's like ones for sleeping, like passion flower and valerian or damiana or things like that. Then the more euphoric herbs like blue lotus or and then you have your lucid dreaming herbs, which are very interesting. I'd love to chat more about that with you guys sometime. Like Selene capensis and the red spider lily, and there's a lot of really awesome plant helpers for dreaming.
Interesting. I love bitter. The more bitter it is, the more I like it. So that's cool. In fact, I'm drinking chaga right now because I live in chaga heaven and I find it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, in Ayurveda they say in bitter out sweet, in sweet out bitter. Speaking of sweets, but
really, is that right? Like, okay, I've tapped into the right thing then.
yeah, when we eat bitters, it actually ends up being very sweet for our body. And when we eat a lot of
Sweetening,
sweet, it
like
ends up being
alkalizing.
pretty bitter to the body. So
Oh, it is good to know.
Thank you for mentioning that. Cool. Where can I get, like, where's a good source for guayusa?
so the kind I have right now, I got on Etsy.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, so I usually look on Etsy. I'm not sure if my favorite herb place, Dragon Herbarium. Sometimes they can carry it as well. And then there's like tea bag versions of it you can get at the store. I think they call it Runa.
Okay.
But they do have that too. But yeah, you can, if you look up online, you can order it online. And
Guayusa is it's a South American herb. Is that right?
yeah, it's from South America.
Got it.
It's not too bitter. I like it. It's really tasty, actually.
Nice. Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing that. Thank you everybody for sharing your dreams and for being here and sharing this time in this space. And yeah, look forward to the week ahead and seeing you all next week.
You guys have a good week.
Same. Dream well, everyone.
Good weekend.
Bye.
Bye. I still haven't gotten off here yet. Keep trying to X out.
Little at a time, little at a time. You'll get there.
I'm getting there.
Bye, Darla.
I keep, I swear I keep hitting the X and then it goes right back to you. I get it, I get it down little and I hit the X and it goes back, but that's okay. I'm glad you're on here anyway. Yeah, I got everything booked. So, do you have a fee in mind yet?
Oh, no, I don't. But let me let me get up with you sometime tomorrow. And
Okay.
yeah, um,
We're gonna go to the Blue Hill Fair tomorrow at some point.
okay. Cool. That's
But
exciting.
yeah, other than that, we'll be around though this whole weekend. I don't think we're doing a whole lot.
Okay. All right, sounds good. We'll get all that stuff ironed out this weekend.
Sounds good. All right, come over and see what can we have. You like cheeseburgers? No, just kidding. I'll figure out something. Okay.
All right. Hey, have a great night.
You too. Bye bye. You have to hang up. Looks like it won't work for me.